My name is Dr. Geeta Putharaju. I am an assistant professor at the Institute of Public Enterprise, Hyderabad. The Institute of Public Enterprise has been involved in areas of public sector management for the past 34 years. We have been doing research, consulting, training, and long-term education around themes of public sector management. This is a module on accountability in public enterprises, and it is a part of the public sector management module of the EPUCH. After going through this session, the students should be able to understand the concept of accountability in public enterprises and the various institutions and mechanisms through which the public enterprises are made accountable for their performance, both physical and financial performance. Public enterprises in India were established in the post-independence era and have since played a very critical role in the India story of growth and development. They have been instrumental in promoting a new socio-economic order in the society, where the natural resources of the nation are utilized in a very transparent, accountable, and participative manner, and it benefits all the citizens. From the very beginning of the establishment of public enterprises, the strategic and key sectors like roads, railways, telecommunication, defense, power, etc., which were vital for economic regeneration of the country, were entrusted to the public sector, though the private sector has also been provided their due from time to time. Gradually, the role and importance of public enterprises in a national economic growth changed considerably from being mere tools of fulfilling social objectives to being growth engines and contributing to economic prosperity of our nation. In this session, we shall discuss the nature and context of accountability in public enterprises vis-à-vis the various other governmental institutions. The public enterprises have been established by the government, as we have discussed earlier, and they definitely need to be accountable for all the public investments that are made into them because they come from public funds. Public enterprises are mandated to uphold the values and achieve the objectives for which they have been set up. Therefore, public enterprises have been made accountable to a number of institutions as presented in the figure below. The public enterprises are accountable firstly to the Parliament of India, to the government through their concerned administrative ministries, to the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, other agencies like Planning Commission, Finance Commission, Central Vigilance Commission, Performance Management Division, High Power Committees, and others. In recent times, we have seen that the performance of public enterprises have been highlighted much by the media through press reports, and therefore accountability to the press and media is also important in the current context. Public enterprises are accountable to fulfill the social objective for which they were set up. That is, provide employment opportunities to all and promote growth and development in the far-flung areas of the country. The Indian Parliament as well as the Government of India review the performance of public enterprises from time to time. With the opening up of Indian economy, public enterprises have received the mandate to be financially profitable like any other public enterprise and achieve their performance targets set by the government, still remaining the mandated accountability to the Parliament and government. Public enterprises are closely monitored by their respective administrative ministries on the financial and organizational performance aspects, while on the other hand, institutions like Comptroller and Auditor General, Vigilance and Enforcement monitor the spending aspects of public enterprise. Though in the post-liberalization era, public enterprises have been given more financial autonomy and power of spending so that they can take quicker decisions and complete the projects on time and compete with other leading enterprises both in public and private sector. The public sector employees are also bound by the rules and regulations of the government and are accountable for their conduct during the term of their employment. This can be looked at from two different perspectives. The first is the vigilance angle. There is a constitutional body created by the government which is called the Central Vigilance Commission. The Central Vigilance Commission is responsible to ensure prudence in the functioning of each enterprise. The other angle is the ethical angle. The public sector employees are also accountable for ethical behavior and code of conduct during their office of tenure. The Government of India has implemented a Right to Information Act in the year 2005. This has opened up a new venue for accountability. And the public enterprises, as they are accountable to the government, have also been brought into the fold of information accountability regime. Thus, the public enterprises are responsible for sharing organizational information with the general public from time to time and bring about the element of transparency and accountability to the organization as a whole. So now let us look at the various dimensions of accountability in public enterprises. So as I have earlier discussed with you, the public enterprises are accountable to the following institutions: to the Parliament, to the CAD, the Comptroller and Auditor General, the Vigilance, the Administrative Ministries, the Department of Public Enterprises, which is a central agency coordinating the public enterprise functioning. We will look at each of these institutions and see how they ensure that the public enterprises are accountable to them. First, let us start with accountability to the Parliament. The performance of public enterprises in India is reviewed by the Parliament. As we all know and we witness that the Parliament is hard pressed for time and it is not often able to devote the necessary attention to the complex and important issues involved in the management of public enterprises. And this leads to the Parliament review not being very detailed due to paucity of time and expertise. In the Parliament account, the accountability of public enterprises to the Parliament is sought through the following questions. The second is through debates and discussions. Third is through COPO, that is the Committee on Public Enterprises. So let us look at how the parliamentary questions are done. The parliamentary question is the most immediate and convenient way for the members of the Parliament to obtain information about the public enterprise. It is through the parliamentary questions that a minister can get easily connected and understand the functioning of an enterprise. It is also a good way of generating awareness in the public on the issues concerning public enterprises and their performance. There are elaborate procedures laid down for raising questions in the Parliament. Some key rules of raising questions in the Parliament are: there are starred questions and there are unstarred questions. So when it comes to the starred questions, these are the questions which relate to the policy matters, a matter of public interest, and they are admitted for oral answers. In the case of unstarred questions, a question which calls for information of statistical or descriptive nature is generally admitted for a written reply. So now let us also see what questions are not allowed in the Parliament. Questions relating to day-to-day administration are not allowed in the Parliament. Questions seeking statistical information available in the published documents are also not allowed. As you all know, public enterprises submit their annual reports to the Parliament on an annual basis. So, all the information relating to the public enterprises, including the statistical information, is compiled and placed on the public domain. Therefore, such kind of information which is already available in the public domain is not allowed for discussion in the Parliament. The Speaker of the House has powers to admit questions involving matters of public importance, even if it concerns with day-to-day administrative details. So the Speaker is the ultimate, and even if there are questions which concern day-to-day activities of an enterprise, can still be allowed for a discussion if the Speaker so wishes. So the next method is discussion through debates. So debates in Parliament cover a wide range of matters, including public enterprise, policy and performance. The debates may be initiated at the time of amendment to an act relating to the public enterprises, or after the presentation of the budget, or under any other provision. Subjects relating to public enterprises can also be brought before the Parliament during the zero hour. Debates are generally diffused and do not often contain constructive criticism, except for a few members who take pains to study the problem. It is felt by some that the quality of debates would go up if adequate and relevant information is made available to the members. Here again, the issue of paucity of time and availability of material are matters of concern. So the third mechanism is COPU, that is the Committee on Public Undertakings. An important instrument of parliamentary control over the public enterprises is through COPU, that is the Committee on Public Enterprises. Till April 1964, two committees which looked into the affairs of public enterprises were existing. They were the Estimates Committee and the Public Accounts Committee. The Estimates Committee was concerned with the efficiency, overall performance, organization and management of public enterprises. The Public Accounts Committee confined itself to the consideration of the reports of the CAG, that is the Comptroller and Auditor General reports, which were presented to the Parliament. The Public Accounts Committee would specifically look into these reports. Then from May 1964 onwards, a new committee was established and it was called the COPU, the Committee on Public Undertakings. This committee took over the work relating to the autonomous public enterprises from the Estimates Committee and the Public Accounts Committee. COPU, which came into being on 1st May 1964, comprises of 15 members. 10 members come from the Lok Sabha and 5 members come from the Rajya Sabha. With effect from 1st April 1974, the composition has changed and now the COPU has membership of 22 members. 15 members come from the Lok Sabha and 7 members come from the Rajya Sabha. These members are elected every year in accordance with the principle of proportional representation from various parties by means of the single transferable vote. Now let us look at some of the key functions of COPU. The functions of the Committee on Public Undertakings are to examine the reports and accounts of public enterprises, to examine the reports of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, to examine whether the affairs of public enterprises are being managed in accordance with sound business principles and prudent commercial practices. The COPO is not responsible in the following areas: matters of major government policy as distinct from business or commercial functions of public enterprises, matters of day-to-day administration, matters for the consideration of which machinery is established by any special statute under which a particular public enterprise is established. So on all these three aspects, COPU does not interfere. The term of the committee of COPU does not exceed more than 1 year, though the chairman, who is appointed by the speaker from amongst the members of the committee, in practice is reappointed for another term of 1 year. The committee selects from time to time specific enterprises or such subjects as it deems fit and constitutes study groups from amongst its members for an intensive study on the subject selected. The committee asks the ministry or the enterprise to furnish necessary material relating to the subjects chosen. The committee often visits the enterprise chosen for informal discussions. After the study tours and after receiving formal memoranda and all other relevant information from concerned party, non-official and official witnesses are invited to give evidence at a formal sitting of the committee held at the Parliament House. All evidence given before the committee is treated as confidential. Here we all need to know that the COPO reports are one of the most important sources of understanding the functioning of public enterprises, as they give very critical reviews about the functioning of public enterprises. These are very widely used by researchers and practitioners in taking policy decisions. The COPO reports broadly fall into two categories. One, the main reports, and the second is the action taken reports. All main reports submitted by the committee will have corresponding action taken reports. These are generally published 6 to 10 months after the main reports. The advantage of action taken reports is that they commit the government in respect of the actions promised to be undertaken on a particular recommendation. What is lacking here is the follow-up action by COPU of implementation of the recommendations accepted by the government and also those not accepted by the government. It gives the top public enterprise managers an opportunity of stating their case or of explaining their difficulties directly to the MPs. This is very important because autonomous public enterprises not only need sufficient freedom for their operations but also require insulation against the government pressures. Now let us look at the government control and accountability on public enterprises. As we have already discussed, public enterprises are under the complete control of their respective administrative ministries. The vision, mission, strategy, directions, and objectives of public enterprises are decided by the administrative ministries. The organizations are bound by rules and procedures laid down by the government in their conduct and in their business processes. The concerned ministries take decisions for public enterprises on a day-to-day basis, and their key activities like appointment of personnel, approval and release of budget, approval of various business activities, etc., are taken by the concerned administrative ministries. The public enterprises are also subjected to constant review by the government on their performance and financial aspects. The government also has the power to order inquiries into the working of public enterprise. Let us also look at the ministerial control, how the ministerial control works on public enterprise. The board of directors of the public enterprises, who are at the top of public enterprises hierarchy, guide the enterprise to conduct their day-to-day operations. The general policy and operational framework of the enterprises is provided by the ministry or the government, but the board of directors provide a vision for the day-to-day operations of the enterprise. The minister exercises administrative and financial control over the enterprise to ensure that the general policies of the government are followed and the objectives of the organization are fully achieved. Some of the key aspects in which the minister exercises control over the public undertakings are highlighted now. On behalf of the government, the minister can influence the administrative control over the enterprise. He or she appoints, and in certain cases is responsible for the removal of the chairman and the members of board of directors as well as the managing director. The minister also exercises financial control over the public enterprise, like appointing the financial advisor on the board of directors of public undertakings. The power of sanction is also available with the minister. The sanction of the government is required by the public undertakings to take up capital expenditure about a certain limit, borrowing, investment, securities, distribution of profits, etc. The approval of the government is required regarding the form of accounts to be maintained by the public enterprise. Therefore, there are a number of crucial financial controls which the minister, on behalf of the government, exercises on the public sector undertakings. It is a known fact that the relationship between the concerned minister and the public undertaking is full of challenges. Now let us look at the accountability of Department of Public Enterprises. The Department of Public Enterprises is the central or the nodal agency which coordinates all the public sector enterprises in India. It is also called DPE. The DPE assists in the formulation of policy pertaining to public enterprises which are concerned with performance improvement and evaluation of public enterprises, financial accounting issues, personnel management, and in related areas. DPE also collects, evaluates, and maintains information on key areas with respect to public enterprises. In fulfilling this role, DPE coordinates with other ministries and organizations. Some of the important tasks of DPE are highlighted below. Performance improvement and evaluation is one of the key areas of DPE intervention. It also looks at issues of board structures, wage settlement, training, industrial relations, vigilance, and performance appraisal aspects. DPE has a major role to play on policy matters relating to public sector enterprises. Matters relating to issue of presidential directives and guidelines to public enterprises is also done by DPE. Matters relating to reservation of posts in the public sector enterprises for certain classes of citizens, matters relating to memorandum of understanding between the public sector enterprises and the administrative ministries and departments, matters relating to delegation of powers to the board of directors are all the areas of functioning of DPE. DPE is also responsible for undertaking in-depth studies with respect to the functioning of central public sector enterprises on specific areas. DPE is responsible for monitoring and evaluation of performance of public sector enterprises and acts as a repository of data and brings out an annual survey for submission to the Parliament. Now let us look at the public and media control over the public enterprise. Though public enterprises have a mandate to present their annual reports on the table of the Parliament, including reports on parliamentary discussions, reports of various committees of Parliament, in the rapid changing technology environment, we are increasingly seeing that despite all these instruments available in the government for making public enterprises accountable, an empowered media and publicity groups are taking up independent reviews and probes against major public sector enterprises. They are bringing out facts and figures in terms of performance of public enterprises. And they are also showing the utilizing resources which belong to all and which is public money and their levels of accountability. This information is empowering the common man to take up issues of poor governance and accountability in public sector enterprises. We have looked at various mechanisms for accountability in public enterprises, ranging from Parliament of India, Administrative Ministries, Department of Public Enterprises, Planning Commission, Finance Commission, Vigilance Commission, etc. There was a need felt to streamline the accountability mechanism for public enterprises and bring the accountability to a little minimum few. So in this connection, the government introduced a system of Memorandum of Understanding, which is also called MOU. Through this system, the government proposed to bring accountability through this one tool so that the fuzziness of goals is minimized and the public enterprises which are supposed to perform on commercial lines have more focus and autonomy. So in the next session, we will look at the system of MOU and how it has helped accountability of public enterprises. Now let us look at some of the questions that emerged from the session. Question 1. Write a brief note on the points of control and accountability for public enterprises in India. Question number 2. In your opinion, do the multiple channels of accountability facilitate or hamper the performance of public enterprises? Third question. What are the various methods of accountability to the Indian Parliament? Question number 4. Write a brief note on COPU, Committee on Public Undertakings. Question number 5. What is the role of Department of Public Enterprises, DPE, in monitoring of public enterprises? Question number 6. Explain briefly how the CVC, Central Vigilance Commission, performs its oversight role? Question number 7. What is MOU system, Memorandum of Understanding? Let us look at some of the multiple choice questions. You have to select one of the options. The first one, public enterprises in India are accountable to the following number of institutions. Option A, 1. Option B, 2. Option C, 3. Option D, more than 3. Second, mechanisms for accountability of public enterprises to the Parliament is through Option A, question hour. Option B, audit paras. Option C, media reports. Option D, government orders. Third one, number of members in the COPU, Committee on Public Undertakings, are Option A, 22 members. Option B, 12 members. Option C, 17 members. Option D, 21 members. Fourth, how many categories of reports are brought out by COPU? Option A, 2 reports. 1 main report and action taken report. Option B, 1 report, main report only. Option C, 3 reports, main report, subsidiary reports and action taken reports. Option D, none of the above. Fifth one, Department of Public Enterprise is responsible for Option A, allocating budget for enterprises. Option B, formulating guidelines for working of public enterprises. Option C, auditing of public enterprises. Option D, performs vigilance function. Sixth one, institution responsible for performing the audit function for public enterprises. Option A, Department of Public Enterprises. Option B, Prime Minister's Office. Option C, Comptroller and Auditor General. Option D, Central Vigilance Commission. Seventh one, Central Vigilance Commission was set up by Government of India in the year Option A, 1964. Option B, 1947. Option C, 1950. Option D, 1991. 8. A system for doing away with multiple accountability mechanisms was introduced in public enterprises in the year 1984. Option A, financial planning. Option B, performance budgeting. Option C, memorandum of understanding. Option D, zero budgeting. We conclude this session on accountability of public enterprises. Here I would urge all of you to go into the website of Department of Public Enterprises and get more information on the accountability aspects of public enterprises, as well as there are many interesting books and edited volumes available in the market, like Professor Lakshmi Narayan and Professor R.K. Mishra's book on public enterprise management and privatization, which has been brought out by S. Chand and Company, gives a comprehensive view on accountability of public enterprises in India. And in the same way, you can go into the Performance Management Division website of the Cabinet Secretariat and get more information on accountability aspects of public enterprises.